Beyond the rim of the starlight, my love is wandering in starflight. All right, tonight on whatever we're calling this Star Trek show now, Dr. John Price and I, frankly, legally experts in Star Trek, will be speaking tonight about whatever the hell's going on with those 3 Star Trek episodes on For All Mankind. We're also going to be speaking about Wrath of Khan. Star Trek. All right.
That's incredible.
Thank you. And me, just right after the Golden Globes, right?
I love it.
I was fooling around with something, and both my wife, my child, and our good pal Steve Ukraine have challenged me to leave the 20th century behind and try to figure some of this stuff out.
Ooh.
So that was my first sweeted attempt at an intro. So, Dr. John, what's happening?
Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you today? I figure I gotta bust out the lower decks, you know?
Yeah, it's all. Do we know when that new one's coming?
Dude. You know, that's what they do. Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. I love Star Trek.
So I realized when I was doing that fake ass intro, placeholder thing, that I was like, you haven't caught up with For All Mankind yet.
I'm not. Yeah.
All you really need to know to join this opinion outrage parade is that Danielle's talking back home, and she says, "Hey, it's cool being a grandma. Can't wait to teach my new grandson about the 3 Star Trek and all three shows." Right. And so everybody in the whole the high bobs, right? The famikins, whatever they call themselves.
The high bobs.
They're all like, "Oh, well, that's clearly the original series, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, because those are the 3 things that Ron Moore worked on." And then he doesn't like Voyager and all this goddamn nonsense. And I said, "Hey, man, it's obviously the original series, Phase 2, because there's no Star Wars to stop that or to make it go into a movie in the alternate universe. And then there's my thing I did about it for the time being. Ha. And people got angry. Like, you dick. Who do you think you are?" And I'm like, I just know how to nerd correctly. Like,
I did.
There's no way an alternate universe show. Anyway.
I did see the outrage. And no, I'm not caught up on all the episodes, so no spoilers, please. I did see the outrage, and I did see your comment at one point. And I saw like 30 other comments who were like, "Oh my god, don't they know there's 6 series or whatever the fuck?"
Yeah,
like, no, it's clearly Phase 2 and then maybe TNG, but like
something else, right?
How do you not put that together? Like,
in 2 seconds on Internet Movie Database, I just called up Ron Moore and went back to his earliest stat, and he quit Cornell his senior year and went to Hollywood, and then fell in with all the guys that eventually did, Star Trek.
Right.
Cool. Guess what? In the For All Mankind universe, his parents were mad at him and said, "You get to fucking finish your college. We didn't pay for that for jack shit." He gets to Hollywood a year later, and he does he's a producer on the Inner Space TV show, and he ends up working for Dick Wolf instead of Gene Roddenberry. And now he does some kind. But that took me fucking 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
That's alternate universe, not like, oh no, it has to follow our world. I get so angry.
No, it doesn't follow our world. That's the whole point, right?
I got angry. Yeah. Oh, let me see. Chuck's here. That's cool.
Chuck's here.
Yeah, I get Sagasag saying the original series, Phase 2, and Enterprise, but after the 5-year mission of the original series and the 5-year mission of Phase 2, fuck yeah! After all that shit, tell me what Enterprise is. That sounds awesome.
What's the Vulcan's name? Zahn, right? The fake Spock. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I have that. I memorized that book, man. Do you have that?
No.
Star Trek Phase 2. It's all these pictures of like Persis Kambata in a bald cap and like all the stuff for Phase 2. They were kind of using they were the old uniforms, but they had the TMP shoulder ranks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like
that would actually look pretty good.
All the pictures of like behind the scenes are not like really like, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, there's James Franciscus as Taylor in Planet of the Apes or whatever.
Right.
It's actually like, yeah, here's what we're doing for the show.
Right.
I'm gonna dig out that book and send it to you. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I like it.
You guys still read books, right?
No.
You get mail?
No, there's no books. No. I did get a package from Starfleet headquarters that I recently opened a couple days later. And it is Mantooth, the annotated Mantooth. Yeah.
I don't know. We were talking about something. And I was like, oh, that's what I mean.
No, it was awesome.
It's kind of funny from a folklore standpoint.
Yeah, no, it's great.
You dig the Shakespeare stuff. I know what it was. We were talking about.
Yeah.
I take something serious, and I always say, because we treat Talking Monkey books like Shakespeare.
Oh shit! I forgot to do your thing. I'm sorry.
That's the actual origin of that. And Matt Fraction, showrunner of Monarch. So there's all kinds of stuff going on there.
Nice.
Back when we were snot-nosed kids.
I have to get your thing, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Anyway, for
there's a couple Star Trek episodes that are kind of like X-File-y.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to get your like that. Oh my god, what was the one with exploding alien heads that I thought they were going to do something in Picard and save that show?
Oh, the
conspiracy.
Yeah, the little bugs. Yeah, those were fun, man. I miss those guys. Yeah,
me too. Anyway,
yeah, cool. Do we want to talk about how much Jean-Luc Picard and Patrick Stewart need to go away, or have we talked about that enough in our lives?
I was gonna mention, just from a purely vain standpoint, I wish everybody had told me that they had either enjoyed my Santa beard more, or that I had to have that thing go, because I cut all that stuff down. And I was like, dude, I kind of look a little different. And Mimi goes, yeah, because you lost all that weight, your cheeks aren't fat, and you got rid of all that stupid whiskers thing. It's like what your face looks like now. I'm like, thank you. And I was like,
it's what your face looks like now.
This is Claus for a win, right? It's just
fucking pulling it out.
Anyway, and so that's why I'm wearing this today. I'm bringing it all around to Star Trek, and also my joint task force I'm assigned to, because it just looks better on an old bald guy with a close crop beard. Relatively close. This looks better than any of them.
See, you're an experienced captain who doesn't want a promotion, and they just keep knocking you around,
right?
Because they don't know what to do with you, and you're like, all I want to do is be a captain. Right. Like, what's going on?
That is clearly who I'd be in Starfleet.
Yeah,
like, dude, just leave me alone. Let me do my thing.
Leave me alone. Fine.
Yeah. And that's why we have our own insignia.
Exactly.
I love good old Steve. Hey man, like Steve Ukrin is our behind the scenes project manager, and man, I can't thank him enough for like holding me by the hand and showing me how this stuff works. And he'll go, dude, this is what I do. Like, don't worry about it. But it's still meaningful to me. So take it.
Yeah.
Take this sentiment, Steve.
So applause. Golf clap. Golf clap for Steve Ukrin. Yep. Awesome. It was really windy here today, so they let us out of school early.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, is it?
Well, because ordinarily you get let out of school for like school shootings and bomb threats.
Sure, that's fair.
Somebody punched a teacher. Like today, you get wind. It's like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, true. Let's go.
It was just a little weird. It was like, oh, it's really windy outside. I'm like,
yeah, who knows? Like
we're not like in Tornado Alley, Yeah, anyway, it was weird. It's been a weird day.
Climate change, A. And B, out here living on the San Andreas Fault, we're kind of used to nature just doing crazy shit. So maybe somebody got a quiet word from whoever's controlling the weather and said, "Hey, Dave fell asleep. It's going to be a little more wind than we meant to."
That's right.
FYI,
Right.
Virginia.
Yeah. Suck a tornado, Virginia. We do get tornadoes sometimes, actually. It's pretty weird because you don't think of Virginia as a tornado place.
Yeah.
But I think it's the way because like we have like the mountains in the west and then like the valleys and then like the ocean. So I think the way the wind circulates, it causes tornado. I don't know how it works. But
I just assume that it never was until after the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh
when
yeah,
the USS just bamfed back, and wasn't that Norfolk or something? Newport Falls.
I thought it was Philly, but that's okay.
Philadelphia. No, it was codenamed the Philadelphia experiment, but it took place. Thinking of? I don't know.
I mean, it had to have been Norfolk then, right?
The ship that apparently had Einstein's camouflage displacement thing that bamfed through the
I've seen the movie. Yeah,
that's the Final Countdown.
No, there's a movie about it, right?
Yeah, it's called The Final Countdown.
No. There's a different movie. I do love the movie The Final Countdown.
Well, they did a movie called The Philadelphia Experiment.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
But that's what it was really called in the real world. So the title kind of the movie comes from the real world.
Kind of a spoiler alert there.
Michael Perry's in that movie. I fucking love everything about
Who's Michael Perry?
Streets of Fire. He had kind of this cool moment around the Warriors here where he was kind of like the Dennis Quaid of the late 70s.
Ooh,
right?
I'll take that.
He's like the next big cool guy thing, but just ends up fizzling for some reason. Nobody really can tell.
Well, because he did movies like the Philadelphia Experiment,
Everything they did was cool. No, that was after. That's the kind of movie he was doing after, because what are you going to do?
That's a bummer.
Streets of Fire 2, I guess.
Streets on Fire 2. More fire.
Dude, I just, as a 60-year-old man, I don't deserve to sass my pop culture idols of my youth like I am now. I loved all those guys. It was awesome.
Dude, the year is now 2024, right? Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, correct.
Which makes it 40 years coming up soon. Believe it or not.
40 years of what? You on the planet?
This guy.
Dude, your mom's not. Did your mom have you when she was 8?
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I actually slip up and I tell people 30, and my wife gets really mad. And I'm like, no, it's 40. Okay. Anyway, so I got, it's coming up, and, I'm not going to say when, obviously, for, security purposes. But I don't know. I've just been thinking about it a lot the last couple of days.
Hey, speaking, well, I don't know if I'm your guy for that, man. Like, are you a milestone kind of birthday guy, or are you just
not really
coming to 40 because that's the societal pressure of like?
No, that's not it. It's just it's more of like I feel 25.
Yeah. Well, here's the bad news about that. I feel like I'm 27.
Yeah.
Until I like try to turn at the end of stairs.
Yeah. It's no good. Yeah, I had a back issue last year. I had to get like a back injection. I was like, Jesus, John, you are not doing well. This is a hell of a thing for a 25-year-old.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of that, here comes Johnny Lonely Hearts to help you out.
Yeah.
It's the 50s where the real
50s.
Decline.
There we go. See, I don't want to
tell you, my 50th birthday, I'll never forget, because nothing the fuck happened. It was a Tuesday. My kid was 7 years old, and everybody's like, "Hey, happy birthday, Daddy!" My kid like sang, and we just, I don't even know did we watch a movie? I don't know. So
sounds amazing.
That's where you're at, man. Like, only you care now, officially.
Yeah. Well, and like it's funny because like the high school kids at Starfleet Academy High School, they have no concept of time. So they're like, "What are you, like 20 something?" I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes.
And then they're talking and they're like, "Oh my god, 40 is like so old," and I'm like, "You shut your mouth, all right?" Anyway, that's all I got, man.
My
Because
problem.
well, I was thinking about it because like in Star Trek, right? They tend to cast people older than the character, right? So like Will Riker is in his like early 30s, but Jonathan Frakes is in his late 30s, that sort of thing, right? So it's like the character's 35, but Jonathan Frakes has like gray hair, you know. So it's like, man, like,
Well,
what's going on?
age though, it's different for
I don't know.
everyone.
I don't
It's
know.
different for everyone.
I don't know.
The thing I do to deal with that is my dad was 28 when I was born.
Yeah.
So I do the math, right? Like so on something like, you know, well, I was 43 when my kid was born. So it's
Mhm.
like I feel like with age comes a little wisdom. Because
Yeah.
my dad really didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, hey, want to throw the ball around? All right, I got nothing. Go talk to your mother. You know what I mean? It was like, and that was the world. And so
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Papa Price was 30 when I was born. And
Yeah.
so like I remember on my 10th birthday, he was about to celebrate his 40th birthday, right? So it's like a weird, I don't know. Anyway, this is nothing about Star Trek. So we can,
Well, it kind of is, right? Because when Captain Kirk is in Wrath of Khan, he's like supposed to
yeah.
be mid-50s, right? But
Well, it depends on the date.
right.
I say 49.
Okay.
That's his
That's
49th
fine.
birthday.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That
Yeah.
actually works, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not old yet. You're not 50.
Right.
You're
But it's not
49.
something to celebrate.
But
It's just 49.
you're still doing this, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I think it really is appropriate, man. Like I said, I'm not your guy for like singing Kumbaya and stuff,
No.
but age does happen to everyone, right? And
Yeah. It's
so
sad,
it
though.
helps me to look at it through the lens of Star Trek. So maybe that works for you, right? Maybe it's time to
Maybe.
get the bomber jacket, man. That's all I have
Dude,
to
I
say.
gotta get that jacket. I gotta get that jacket, man. I gotta crowdfund that jacket.
All right. I actually came up with a plan. I'm not going to say it in public, but don't click off real fast. I can say it in a second.
Okay. 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 So
um
anyway,
anyway, yeah. Kids keep you young. That's true. I don't know if you want to do that to the science officer just yet.
mm,
But I don't yeah, that's none of our business, Bjorn.
yeah, Bjorn,
Tennis pro code name
you
Star
jerk,
Trek fan. We don't know who you are. You know what?
double dumbass on
What's
you.
it's awesome. Our friend Tony told me like why he did that, and I think it's the most awesome thing ever. And you should, everyone who knows him, who's checking in, it's not my place to tell this story. You should all DM and say, "Hey man, what's up with that?" And if he doesn't tell you, then all right, it's no big deal. But if he does tell you, you'll have a laugh. It's
Well,
awesome.
now I want to know. Now I want to know what the heck, man.
Well, maybe you
All
guys could work out some kind of barter, some kind of unofficial
right.
trade of some kind.
Yeah,
I'm just a storyteller, right? So stories have value to me. I'd be like,
it's true.
I'll sing for my supper. No problem. Anyway, Chris Sagasag says 45. You gonna be 45?
Eventually.
I don't think. Oh, that's good. He's talking
No,
about how old
God damn
Kirk
it,
was.
Chris. Don't make me do this. All right. So,
Roll up your sleeves. Here it comes.
so Kirk is born in 2233, as we all know, right? And
Okay.
then originally, Wrath of Khan comes out in 2282, aka 1982. Then they retconned it to 2285 to make it line up with Voyage Home. It's bullshit. It's 2282. He's 49 years old.
Okay.
Just that's it. That's it. There's no point. I mean, there's no point in like going down that road because I mean I'm right. So
Oh look, I should apologize to Tony. It's like I kind of
aw,
like for sorry about that, man. It's not
sorry,
my story to tell, but now you look like a dick if you don't do what I made you do. That's classic Larry. And I apologize. I don't know. He's a bird brother. Maybe he'll let me off the hook.
Classic Larry.
That's dumb shit. I try not to do stuff like that.
So yeah,
just sharing my enthusiasm, and sometimes people don't and get dragged along, and they get sad at me.
Yep.
Anyway, I like Star Trek. What can I tell you?
I also like Star Trek.
What do we know when Strange New Worlds is coming back? What's the next one coming?
I don't.
Oh no,
I don't know when Strange New Worlds coming. Discovery's coming back soon because they're starting to do the media blitz about how much Discovery is good, and you know they were all taken aback when it was canceled, and everyone else is like, "Good, fuck you, Discovery."
Were they really taken aback by that?
That's what they're saying in interviews, but
dude,
I mean,
everyone has been saying that for fucking 5 years straight.
Yeah.
And you and me started a year before it came out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Dude, that's the most crazy thing. I've been a fanboy for my entire fucking life. And I was raised trying to figure shit out because that was the fun part before they had Tetris and, you know, loose women. So I'm used to trying to figure shit out, and it's crazy that you and me both could talking to each other, and our friend Amon, if you remember, the three of us fucking started just going, "Oh, here's what's going to happen." Reading between the lines from this interview, here's what's going to happen. Yeah. Every step of the way, we were like 3 days ahead of them announcing it. Like, and that was crazy to me.
We also gave them better ideas, if anyone was listening, which clearly they weren't.
Literally everyone was given better ideas. I mean, that was not good. So, you know, there's no reason to relitigate that torture Stockholm syndrome thing.
I'm just so glad it's canceled.
Other than they don't get to say, "What a shock! We didn't know everybody was mad at us."
Yeah. Well, it was a shock because they had finished filming, so then they had to go back and basically like refilm an ending to make it all make sense. And I'm like, okay, I guarantee you, it's just going to end with Burnham on the bridge, flying off into the sunset, second star on the right. You know, but they're idiots, so fuck them.
I think I can't even get outraged. But you know what's cool? Good old Steve says Star Trek is on 3 different platforms now. That's very interesting to me.
Which platforms?
Well, like Netflix has the movies now, I think. And
HBO has movies.
Okay, on July 1st, anyway, Paramount split up what they had for Star Trek because contractual stuff, and I think that's crazy because those contracts are never more than 5 years at a time. So that means that 5 years ago, Paramount was betting against itself that their thing wasn't going to work. And that's just more of, well, we were right about that too, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so they're back on that's right. It's called Max now. That's right. And the funny thing is you go to Max, I hate calling it Max. You go to HBO.
HBO Max. Just go HBO Max.
The HBO
That's why
app.
everybody knows what you're talking about.
And because Max is Cinemax, right?
Right, exactly. So
like, how
HBO
Max.
There's
anyway,
Max,
so you go to HBO, and it's like this whole like, I don't even know what you would call it, like this whole like presentation, like watch the Star Trek films. It's got all these graphics and everything, and like it's just so funny. You go to friggin' Paramount, it's like, you know, your shitty little UI, and you gotta like click 15 times, you know, it's so stupid. Anyway.
Agreed.
And then I guess Netflix has Prodigy, right?
Right. Yeah, so
I don't know.
I know that was not the plan of somebody who's fine with their forward vision. You know what I mean? Like it's so clearly like, all right, let's not bet all the deed to the farm. Let's go dig up the gold coins and keep that one and sell this shit. You know what I mean? And it's just so candy ass because you're dealing with Star Trek, which is a golden goose.
Yeah.
You and me would just mint money all day up and down the street all day long. And no one would say anything because everyone would be happy.
It's so sad, man. Because like all you need to do is be semi-competent. Like you can hate Terry Matalas all you want, which I do, but like again, semi-competent at telling a Star Trek story, and he blows it out of the water. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like all you need to do is just do that. Like anyway, I don't get it.
Walker and I were talking about, Favreau and Filoni have Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
Mission
they're making a
Impossible.
movie. That's what I
Yeah,
saw.
I
Yeah.
saw. That's cool. But Mission Impossible has McHugh and Tom Cruise, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always the stuff that just rocks is always somebody's vision. You can do that for on TV, right? I mean, a Sean Ryan joint, that TV show is going to be good,
or
right?
like the Berlanti verse,
that's perfect example too. And so, what the fuck? You know what Star Trek doesn't have? A bunch of fucking nonsense. It's too many cooks, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand the most well understood pop culture thing of the universe. Any kid in the world could go to just walk in to J.K. Rowling's house and go, "Here, read this thing that I wrote." And she'd be like, "Can I use this? This is 80% there. Let me give it a polish and we'll both make money." Right?
Yeah.
Anybody could do that for fucking Star Trek, right? Some kid will walk in and go, "Yeah, dude, that's great ideas. We haven't really explored that. It's like 80% there. Let's make it work for TV. We can shoot this. We'll split the money." Right? They used to do that with Next Generation. That's where some of the episodes came from.
That's where Ron Moore came from.
Right, during the writer's strike, they were just like, "Hey, send us your shit. What can happen?"
Yeah.
Clearly, the world's not like that anymore.
No.
But of all properties, Star Trek's the one that should do that. There should be a submissions editor that goes to Star Trek Vegas and has the biggest presentation.
God,
right?
It would be some stupid 20-year-old.
No, but who cares? You pick out those wouldn't be the winners, right? And every year is fucking Wonka golden ticket, right? You got a Star Trek hour produced. You're fucking. There's pictures of you everywhere sitting on that costs CBS nothing.
Yep,
it costs them nothing. And I don't know why they don't do that. It's like, look, you can't compete with a Disney theme park, so make your IP the theme park, man.
Yeah,
right. I mean, come on. Anyway. Nobody listens to me. Otherwise, there'd be a working moon base. And it wouldn't be called Jamestown. It would be called Alpha.
Stewart said there's a Picard movie being written. Yeah, that's like I saw that, and that's like every time Michael Dorn says there's he's in talks for a Worf show. Like, okay.
I'm dying for AI to get to the point where we can have a Captain Sulu show and a Captain Worf show. And then slash fiction the hell out of it. Another thing CBS dropped the ball on, right? Are you kidding me? But okay, that Axanar thing is pretty controversial. I'm not going to get into that. But telling everybody else, they should look at it on a case by case basis, because you can't tell me that some guy who sometimes the two of us and Chris Sagasag, right? You come into San Francisco and the three of us have the same uniforms and are running around on the beach, and we do some funny thing and post on the internet. You cannot tell me you're going to sue me the same way as the guy who spent $2 million replicating the sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They Axanar is getting sued again because he just keeps bringing in money and not doing anything, which is kind of a brilliant business model. It's kind of like the Trump business model where you just keep asking for money and just never produce anything.
I can't
kind of
get
brilliant.
it. I don't sign any NDAs or anything, but I don't want to have to. That's where I'll sign an NDA, because talking about Axanar, because that looks like that's where that's going.
Yeah. Rick Austin says, "Can we have a 5-minute Picard movie where they smelt him down for raw materials?" I think that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody but Patrick Stewart is begging for a Picard.
Patrick Stewart is salty because his vision was season 2 and it sucked, and then season 3 was not his vision and everyone loved it. So now he's salty and he wants to be back in the control seat, and everyone's like, "Nope."
Here's what I think about that. If you're salty, Sir Pat, how do you think fucking William Shatner feels? Who
Yeah, no
we
kidding.
owe a complete cultural debt to, not just pop culture, but cultural debt to that fucking motherfucker, and they're trying to wipe him out of Star Trek history.
Yeah,
So if you're getting salty about that, fucking get in line after Bill, okay?
yeah. He
That's
was
what I have to say
posting about
about
that
that.
on Twitter the other day because, as per usual, they put up some graphic that didn't have Kirk on it, so everybody immediately sends it to Shatner, and he's like, "What can I do? I'm Shatner," you know. But he's pretty awesome. I love Shatner.
You'd think CBS would understand that one too. Like, no matter what they want to do,
They don't give a shit, dude.
dude's 92. Just fucking let him have it for a couple of more years.
No.
No, you won't rile up the
That's not
150.
They don't want people who like Shatner. That's
But that's
see.
cool. All those people are gonna die soon too. You know what I mean?
I
It's
don't.
good, man. It's all
I
good.
hate.
Let it go.
I
Not
don't want
you.
to go
CBS.
down as like a. This is gonna sound like stupid, like reactionary conspiracy, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But like, they very clearly are targeting specific demographics, and those demographics are not the type of people who like someone like William Shatner. And I don't mean that derogatorily or
No,
anything
you're
like
right.
that. Like, hey, good for you, you know. But it's just not in their brand anymore, which is an insane thing to say about Star Trek.
Well, yes. I would reiterate that entire thing, but I'm just gonna check the box. Agreed. Like, I just don't get it. Like, why alienate people? You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's what they've been doing since
yeah,
2017.
yeah.
Just
That's you
alienating
can make
people.
that argument too. They really have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, check this out. What all Steve Euchrin said. We were saying they need a visionary, and you get somebody takes over Star Trek, then you get the next James Gunn out of it, right? Which is what Lloyd did at Troma, and they make no money. And honestly, Steve knows that's what we used to do with my comic company, right? You made beer money on the side, but you get so much attention. Marvel and DC are going, okay, take She-Hulk, take Iron Man now.
Right.
Crazy. Anyway, check this out. We're having a marketing conversation with Steve. This is awesome. Well, he just agreed with you, though, right?
That's even better.
Yeah. Well, we're Starfleet. We're Starfleet, but we came up through the lower decks, School of Hard Knocks. We're not, Academy officers like Steve Euchrin.
I don't know. I mean,
Battlefield promotion. Me and Harry Dean Stanton in Blue Velvet.
Nice.
We're Star Trek Blue Velvet, right? Like, this is the part I don't get about Star Trek. You have your own streaming thing. You don't have to make fucking $200 million movies every time. You have standing sets for shows. You should have $2 to $8 million movie character pieces, weird shit, indie guys. Let fucking me and my kid loose in those hallways.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a 20-minute thing that make you cry. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? I don't understand it.
Anyway. I agree with you on, like, they want to make Marvel like spectacle movies, and you don't have to. You just have to make like shitty sci-fi movies.
That's the thing, though. Like, Marvel's not making Marvel movies anymore, right?
Well, I was gonna say at the time, like,
but that's what I mean. It's like they're like just Paramount just doesn't know what to do with Star Trek, and it makes me cry. It makes me cry like I say this all the time. It's like some good friend or some ex-girlfriend, and they're just like been divorced 3 times. They have 5 kids from 3 guys, and it's like, man, you used to be so cool, Barbie Star Trek or whatever your name is, and you just life has really fucked you up, man. But here's the thing: we can help. We know how to fix it. Come back to us in Starfleet. Anyway, let's go watch 90210 Academy. That'll be great.
Look, if they want to do that, that's fine. But like, don't do that.
Don't make me watch it.
Yeah,
like
right.
Prodigy, right?
Right.
For once, there's a Star Trek show I didn't watch.
Yeah, and by all accounts, it's really good.
My life was weird at the end of Voyager and at the end of Enterprise, so I didn't catch them first run, but I have seen them all, right? So
Yeah.
I can say I've seen all the aired hours of Star Trek, and I watched the first 3 things of Prodigy, and I went, it's not for me. I'm sure it's great. That's just going to go
Yeah.
on without me, and that's really dangerous because that's what's going to happen to Star Trek now to me. And I
Well,
used to
and I guess
be
that brings up the question, like, what does it mean to be a fan of Star Trek then if you're not watching Star Trek, right?
absolutely.
Is this a little too postmodern?
No,
Is this
no. I was just getting super excited because here comes the folklorist is one of the things I admire most about you. That this is it's a total sports analogy thing, right? Like
yeah,
I fucking love the Red Sox. I love Red Sox. I got my kid, Chris Strang actually got my kid. The name up on in the 5th inning. Take a picture of it. Hey, Red
nice.
Sox welcome Walker. That's fucking bananas. Top 10 thing that I've ever seen, right? And because a good friend of mine made something happen for my kid that gave him joy, that's fucking bananas. And the Red Sox are all tied up in that. But I fucking hate baseball. I cannot watch baseball, right? So it's the same thing. It's like if you're a Star Trek fan, you can be a baseball fan, watch everything, sign up for everything, go to the minor league games, collect the hats, everything. That's baseball. And that's me with Star Trek, except now the guys
Yeah,
who own baseball are fucking it up and it's making me sad. That's where
they're
I'm at.
turning it into pickleball.
I don't know, man. I don't know where to go with the analogy after that.
I don't know. I don't know either. I
It's
just hate the
because
fact. I just
I don't
think
want
it's
to insult
interesting.
wiffle ball. You know what I mean?
Well, I just think it's interesting because it's like it's not like we're partisans. Oh, we're on this side of Star Trek and they're right. It's not like that, but it's also, I
Yeah,
don't, uh, you know, I don't fuck with this part of the Star Trek universe, and
yeah.
it's just weird. I don't know. What's the point? I don't
Here's
know.
here's an interesting thing to
I'm having a weird
consider.
week.
Yeah, man. And here I'm going to make it worse. What about this? What if it's tied up in our identities, right? I mean,
Oh, of course,
look what we're wearing, right?
of course.
So so now it seems like they're fucking with our identities, right?
Yeah,
It's like we were cool with all of this shit. Like I'm never watching And the Children Shall Lead Them Again. Can't make me do it. And there's shitty episodes, right? If it's on, I'm not gonna watch it, but like I remember it and I value it. That's like I remember that time when I ate all the Cheetos and threw up on the white carpet. Sorry, I sent flowers, but those kind of episodes. But now it's just like, nah, I'm not going to that party anymore. I know what happens there,
yeah.
and that you lost a lifelong fan. Like that's you got a priest of Star Trek to lose his passion for the cloth.
Yeah.
That's not where you guys want to go.
So one of the fundamental parts of Star Trek fandom is the participatory nature of it all, right? There's literally books written on this about Star Trek
Probably
fandom
by
and
you.
not by me. I wish it was by me, but I have too much. I don't. I'm a terrible academic, but uh because I have all these ideas, but I never do them because I'm lazy. Anyway,
Yeah. Sounds
uh
like an academic to me.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And so like it's that community, right? The participatory nature, right? I'm not just watching a TV show, I'm engaging in a community, right? And I just think it's an interesting question, like what happens when the TV show part of that community leaves the community behind? I just think it's an interesting dilemma because like it's religious, right? It's a religious
Yeah,
problem. What happens when you add a new text to the Bible
I
and
think.
everyone's like, no, 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 that's not part of the Bible, you know? And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, but it is part of the Bible because the Pope says it is. And I'm like, well, I don't fuck with the Pope anymore. Like it's just weird. It's a weird thing.
I love it. I love it. I don't fuck with the Pope anymore,
I
John
don't fuck with
Price.
the Pope anymore. You know what I mean? Like if he's
Nope.
gonna go down this road,
Yeah.
I'm not going down that road. Maybe he is
I
fallible.
think
I don't know.
I think you're super onto something. I think we're watching that in the nerd community with For All Mankind, right? There's a whole
Mm-hmm.
bunch of new people showing up that are like, hey, I hated Molly Cobb. She was abrasive. You know, they ate Danny. Like they fucking eat Danny, you nerd. But
No.
it's like a whole bunch of normal people haven't processed. It's funny to have those thoughts, but now you're sharing them with the earth, man, and you just made yourself look like an idiot. Like, and there's no filter on normal people anymore because they're sort of used to just saying whatever they've been saying for the last 15 years, and there's been no consequence. That's why we're in this shithole, right? Star Trek sucks. Star Wars kind of sucks, except for, and that's why we have to protect Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, because Star Wars doesn't suck under them. Oh, dude, speaking of that, my kid fixed his he got a new 3D printer for Christmas and started. So I got to make you one of those because nobody can get mad at that. Just sticking on whatever table. Hey, man, throw your iPad up there. Hey, Spock might call. Nobody's gonna say anything.
Steve Ukraine, you always cater to the hardcore fans because they will always be there. When you neglect the hardcore fans, the whole fandom dies. And Bjorn agrees. Yeah, I mean, well, that's the problem, isn't it, right? Because the hardcore fans are being neglected and the fandom is dying.
Man.
And then us hardcore fans are like, we don't have to be dying. This is a self-inflicted wound. All we have to do is put a tourniquet on it and fire Alex Kurtzman. Like, this is not rocket science.
But see, the whole thing is politics, apparently, right? Because if you were running a business, that would have happened a long ass time ago, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, my
team
are
running a business, aren't they?
No, they're fucking. It's the billionaire dick swinging thing, right?
Is that why Paramount is dying?
Because all you have to do is go back to our baseball analogy, right? The fucking general manager is losing baseball games. So you get a new guy in. It's not the team, right? I'm sure those writers were ready to go. Yeah. And Alex Kurtzman like pissed all over everything to make it part of his vision that has nothing to do with Star Trek. Oh, dude. That dude saying Star Trek is not aspirational.
You're never going to forgive him. I'm never going to forgive him either.
Even when you go back and read the exact quote in context, he's saying that Star Trek wasn't aspirational to him as a kid.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of worse to me. So I have no problem quoting him mildly out of context.
Yeah.
Because he is saying that Star Trek isn't aspirational, but it's almost worse, right? Oh yeah, I agree that Star Trek can be aspirational if you're like one of those guys that likes Star Trek. Right. But to me, Star Trek is not aspirational, and it serves some other function that he has not revealed to us. That guy's a menace. Makes me sad. And here's my long con counter programming, though. I'm probably not going to see this in my lifetime, but my kid, Santa Claus gave him Final Draft 12.09 this year for Christmas, and that motherfucker's got 3 live things since December 25th. So I'm raising the anti-Kurtzman.
That's excellent.
So Star Trek one day will be fucking Star Trek again. There's probably going to be way more bikinis and short hem skirts, like, and everybody will go, that's cute vintage throwback, but the guy running it will be like, that's what my father would have wanted.
All he wanted was bikinis and spacesuits. That's all he wanted. Yeah. How can anyone not like Molly Cobb? Like, Molly Cobb is one of the greatest TV characters I've seen in a very, very long time.
I'm sure you live in a state of normal people, right? If take that character out of context, which all the normal people do, because that's just shit they're watching on their TV, like that was made for them and no one else. They go, she's kind of pushy and a little headstrong, and that's what my husband has told me. And so she does remind me of that pushy, headstrong girl down the street. And so I don't like that character, right? They don't say any of that. They just go, what a bitchy character. I don't like her. And she smokes dope too. Like, dude, go read those people. It's insane.
It's nuts. Are we not all turned on by pushy women? Is that And is that the problem?
Astronaut pushy woman who smoked dope? I
And
mean, like, why
a pushy
are they making the show for us?
Dirty blonde astronaut. Dude, I'm in. Let's do this.
Dude, no matter how you look at that, too. Oh, former Lost cast member that I was in love with 10 years ago, too.
Right.
I mean, no matter how you look at it, that's one of the best characters. And I mean, we went through this at the time, but that was the best way to go out, too.
Oh my God, she's a fucking hero.
I just remember going, "Fuck yeah, you did, Molly!" like out loud in my living room. You're gonna be okay, blind dipshit. I gotta go back. I think I lost my glasses. I got fucking babies to save. And I saw a cat in a tree. Oh wait, that's the "Hang in there, baby" poster.
And you're goddamn right. They renamed it the Molly Cobb Space Center.
How do you hate that character?
She's one of the best. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, you know what makes sense to me now? Stepford Wives, because that's who's posting now.
I don't like them. I don't like them.
I didn't like the remake. That TV movie was fucking creepy.
Never seen it. I'm not going to.
It's not worth your time. 70s kids like you, man, watching 70s movies, unless it's something freaky like Vanishing Point. Why bother?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, look, they did the whole movie, and what's the end? Oh, the main character's driving to a train.
That is a 70s movie. Yes.
It's the end of Crazy Mary and Dirty Larry. Nothing That's why I have that nobody learns anything and everybody dies kind of thing for comics.
Yeah.
It's because I was raised in the 70s. The whole thing that didn't matter because you're just gonna hit a train at top speed anyway, sideways. Anyway.
There you go.
I think that's we're getting close. Anybody have any things? Although
any questions from the crowd?
I love toadies. That is my experience on social media every day.
I mean, you can have an opinion on NASA. That's fine,
Walker Star Trek. Yeah, I kind of like Walker Star Trek too. You know what else he's working on? I shouldn't say. Hey, buddy, can I tell you
the Star Trek about Walker Ranger?
The Planet of the Apes? Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I'd love for you to tell it.
Do you want to get on?
No.
All right.
I'm gonna do some math.
Okay. Yeah, do your homework.
Do your homework.
Walker says, "Hey, everybody." I did point out your 3D printer thing.
Hell yeah.
Nice job.
Love you.
Love you too, Val. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. He's doing speaking of Nobody Learns Anything and Everybody Dies. That's from my book Planet of the Apes with Brandon McKinney, superstar artist, but now he's an animation director and is the showrunner on Harley Quinn. So basically all my friends are famous now except for us. And but he was the artist on Planet of the Apes, and now that he's a big deal, I said, "Hey man, my kid is doing an 8-page story with our characters. You don't care?" And he's like, I don't care. I want to draw it." And I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Another book, another story, and the Untitled The Walker Young Project #2 for San Diego this year is going to be Walker and Brandon McKinney returning to the Planet of the Apes world. And nice. I'm going to do nothing but letter it. Anyway, so I was bragging on that final draft thing. He's working on comics. He's telling stories. He's in the folklore. I mean, I'm raising the anti. It's
good. It's good.
Look out, Kurtzman.
He's also a badass football player, so he's not going to get stuck into that weird Hollywood no life experience world.
Dude, I tell him all the time, the fucking second you do Nerd Jock as a comic book or a novel or something, you're on TV. Lawrence O'Donnell's going to be, you know what? Lawrence O'Donnell and Brad Moss are going to be talking to you.
Brad Moss is going to be fucking, oh my God, I knew Walker back when. Love you, Brad.
Oh, dude, I was like, how could you get Brad shit? He's awesome.
Yeah.
Mother Jugs and Walker, you know what? That's awesome. We haven't seen Mother Jugs and Speed yet. He needs to see that. That is a great 70s movie. Highly recommended.
It's a good 70s movie. Godfather.
Star Trek. Any Star Wars.
Yeah. Any Star Wars movie. Yeah. So that's good.
All right. Sounds like you're running out of steam, man. That's cool. I mean, we can call it if you want. There's no reason
I'm just sitting here.
We Yeah. I'd like to send out new idea for a book, Weird Hollywood No Life Experience World. I think that's what entertainment is now.
I was
right?
gonna say, just turn on the TV.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's it.
like
That's
people are. I mean, that's kind of a weird. That's why I think my kid is going to be interesting. I told that story about how I was like, "How are you getting these weird references?" And he's like, "I watched 30 years of Simpsons in 8 months." And he said that like dead serious. Like, I put in the time, man. You remember when I did all that studying instead of like, you know. Anyway, so I can't wait to see what pop culture comes out of a guy like that, right? Because all the kids now that are coming up, the Zoomers, they have that, you guys don't remember this, but back when you smoked your own weed, Cheech and Chong style, instead of vaping, you had that film canister pyramid thing where you'd make a roach out of a can of roach, and those roaches would go up until you concentrated this thing that was like ghetto hash. And it was great. And I think that's what is happening to Zoomers with pop culture references. Like entertainment, like TikTok kind of does this. Like I think like theatrical films are going to be about 7 minutes long.
yeah.
And you're just going to know instantly there's the protagonist, that's what he wants. There's the antagonist, that's why he doesn't want to get him. And then the movie is who wins.
Yeah.
And then the movie's over. And I think that's what's going to happen to everybody's, that you get this concentration of entertainment and everybody's going to be cool with it. It's like, oh man, I just learned Kung Fu Matrix style, through my entertainment optic nerve delivery system thingy.
They got to get off those vapes, man. The kids and their vaping, like the weirdest part is they stick it down their pants to avoid getting searched.
Well, what's that do?
Nothing, because they still get searched and they still find it.
Right.
And now you're just smoking a vape that's been next to your, Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. The kids are not the future. The kids are fucked. Like,
so if we needed any more proof that John is turning 40 anytime soon, the kids nowadays with their vaping, today, I just go and smoke a joint like we used to in the old days. Maybe it made something out of an apple or a can. Nobody's got a pipe. Oh my god. Anyway,
invest in yourself. Get a bowl.
Invest in your future, kids.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway,
and on that note, I think that's a good.
If anybody's got any ideas for like some more sweeted intros, I like that kind of pretty good. I don't think I needed to say off camera what was happening. We needed a shot of the band or something, but yeah, if anybody wants to see something funny with my Star Trek props,
I'll try to see all the props.
I'll try to do something more higher res next time.
No, it's gonna lose its charm.
Let's hope. Anyway. All right, man. Hey, thanks for taking the time and everything.
Yeah,
should
thank
probably
you.
call it.
Thanks for setting this all up. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Steve Euchre, and take a bow, making sure we all look pretty. And it's up to us if we made sense or not.
Yeah, whatever.
That was cool. You wanna say anything or just end stream? It sounds kind of very
Star
medical,
Trek,
and end stream.
If you have any questions, let me know. I guess I don't know. You can find me on the internet at the John Price, and then that's it.
The Facebook group, give that a shout out.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group. I think you all know about it.
Are we calling this serious Star Trek? I don't know.
What do you want to call it? We should ask for names. If you got a name for this new show, let us know.
I think we should change it just because
it's a new year.
Just to honor Dan's hard work.
Yeah,
that's a thing we did with Dan. God bless him.
That was Dan's show.
Yeah.
Dan did do. In all seriousness, Dan did a ton of hard work on that show, and I hope he's doing all right.
I don't think I told you, but I will say this: Dan got a triple Quatlu too. Who deserves a triple Quatlu more than Dan? I just sent it to him for Christmas. I didn't even know he was taking a break, but that was cool. It was we really appreciate it, Dan. And
unserious.
I just think the two last honest Star Trek fans was funny for today, but I don't think you want that as our show name.
Nah, it might not, age well.
As true as that is.
It's very true.
All right, man.
All right, guys. I'll see you on
thanks
the other
everybody.
side.
All right.